All right, let's change gears. It's not often when you're in the middle of the ramping up for a war that you look back, but I think it's very important to understand where we got to where we're at right now in battling ISIS. And it was pretty significant last week, 2 weeks ago, when the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Martin Dempsey, said it was generally known that the military recommended to President Obama that you leave a residual force in Iraq. And that was significant, but he says that we are where we are. But when Leon Panetta writes a book, and he's the former Secretary of Defense and CIA director, and says this, then you really have to raise your eyebrows, because this is a man on President Obama's side who got the play-by-play on why we did not have troops in Iraq.
That's right. This is what it says. Quote, the president's team at the White House pushed back, and the differences occasionally became heated. And on those, our side viewed the White House as so eager to rid itself of Iraq that it was willing to withdraw rather than lock in arrangements that would preserve our influence and interests.
It's so startling and so clear there that what the president of the White House did was they were listening to politics, not the people who knew what they were doing at the Pentagon. Megyn Kelly sat down with the State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki last night. It got like this.
That is an accounting of what happened 3 years ago. That's just not consistent with what happened 3 years ago.
We had basically won the war after those 175,000 troops were there. We had won. The vice president said that Iraq could go down as the administration's greatest success. Things changed after we did the surge in Iraq. We were doing much better. And then the president's critics say we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory because we pulled out the troops and there was no one there to protect the gains.
But, Megyn, are you arguing that 10,000 troops or 5,000 troops or 25,000 troops would have been able to fight back against ISIL when 150 or 175,000 couldn't have held back entirely al-Qaeda?
It's not Megyn Kelly arguing it. It's Leon Panetta, who's in a much better position to know. He talks about how I voiced to the president that this country could become a new haven for terrorists to plot attacks against the United States if we withdrew all the forces. Isn't that exactly what happened?
That is not what happened.
It's exactly what happened, and if you leave that residual force, you gradually see things change. You watch them bleed into Iraq from Syria, and you put a stop to it. There were transmissions that said we have lost, essentially, in Iraq. Hey, they said jihad. The jihad is not happening in Iraq. We cannot report there anymore. They went elsewhere. Then they came back.
I'm going to do a little sports for you right now, because that was Jen Psaki getting sacked by the facts.
Absolutely.
It completely was.
By Leon Panetta's facts, like she said, it's not Megyn Kelly's.
Yeah, not personal. And now I'm going to toss it over, right over there, to Heather now.